You know, the United States of America was the greatest country before Trump, and it's the greatest country now after Trump. The white supremacists want to go back. They want to go back to the days when it was legal to own slaves.
You are about to be entertained by the ape, the young man who has become a legend in his own time. You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
But yes, indeed, if you can't handle the truth, you're in the wrong place. Welcome, everybody. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on Facebook. It's on the YouTube channel, Ron Kelly Show YouTube channel, and on blogtalkradio.com, along with Facebook Live and in living color. So thank you, everybody. It's live on all three of those channels. So if you're not a Facebooker or YouTuber, you have several different ways to listen to the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. So thank you so much. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me on a seemingly end of the summer of 2024. So thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome. Shout out to my people at Amaker and Porterfield. The Ron Kelly Show is brought to you in part by Amaker and Porterfield. We'll talk to you more about that a little bit later on. In any case, welcome and thank you. Appreciate you for joining me here on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. Oh, boy. So, the Democratic National Convention, the 2024 version of the Democratic National Convention, will wrap up tonight with a speech from Kamala Harris. And while Kamala Harris flies Trump and Vance flounder. It was such a pitiful sight. Anyway, welcome and thank you for joining me. So tonight is the coup d'etat, if you know, it's the wrap up to the Democratic National Convention. Kamala Harris is going to give a speech. She's going to get an opportunity to connect, to let people know who she is, because like really that's the biggest thing. Nobody knows who Kamala Harris is. So most of the people who were surveyed, like overwhelming percentage of those folks didn't know who Kamala Harris is. So she will be giving her acceptance speech tonight, and this is an opportunity for her to connect with the American people. There's a couple of things she has to do. First, she has to put out her agenda, you know, because Trump is killing her on the surveys for the economy. Many people still think that Trump would better handle the economy than Kamala Harris would, so that she's got to tackle that. The other thing is the immigration situation, because she was the vice president of the United States, and I believe that President Joe Biden did put her, made her the immigration czar, or put her at the head of all of that, and really not much was done. So she's got to overcome that as well. And the third thing is she has to connect with folks who are, or the voters, the people on the fence, the independents, and some of the folks who haven't decided yet of who they want to vote for. So she's got to connect with them too. You know, and ironically, today is the 60th anniversary of the 1964 Democratic National Convention, where Fannie Lou Hamer, who was the head of an integrated voting rights apparatus, was not allowed to be a delegate at the Democratic National Convention back in 1964. And see, that wasn't a whole long time ago. That wasn't, you know, we're not talking about the 1800s. We're talking about the 1900s. We're talking about in this generation, 1964, where Fannie Lou Hamer was denied entry into the Democratic National Convention because Lyndon Johnson believed, president at the time, Lyndon Johnson believed that his people, that he would lose out on the Southern vote if he allowed her to be there. So she was denied entry into the 1964 Democratic National Convention. And, you know, it's ironic that, you know, that was 60 years ago. And at this very same Democratic National Convention, it wasn't the Republicans that were trying to keep black folks out. It was the Democrats, and the Democrats incidentally, the Democrats were the ones who fought to keep slavery. The Civil War that broke out between the North and the South, where the South wanted to retain slavery, and the North was trying to abolish slavery. There were plenty of white folks on the North side who wanted to abolish slavery. So it wasn't, there were some, and so the Democrats were the slavery advocates, and the Republicans at the time were the slavery abolitionists at that time. So it's kind of weird that, that all the support that the Democrats have gotten from black folks over the years might have been a little misplaced, and people don't really understand that. I need to let you guys know that the views and opinions expressed here are exclusively those of myself and Alkali Media Enterprises, LLC, and are not those of my advertisers or my support team or anyone who has anything to do with the Ron Kelly Show. So it's been a great 3 days. This is the fourth day. They'll be bringing it to a close tonight. Again, Vice Presidential nominee Walz, Tim Walz, had his day in the sun yesterday when he gave his acceptance speech last night at the Democratic National Convention. Did a great job. I got to get some clips. I'll post some clips of this thing very soon. But he gave his speech last night, and he did a very good job. And so it's Kamala Harris's turn tonight. This is crucial. This is like the biggest night of her life. She didn't have the luxury of starting out a campaign in 2022 like most people do. Her campaign started like a little over a month ago. And even with that, she's made some big inroads, and she has caught up to Trump. But we have to understand, we have to remember this: it's not the popular vote; it's the electoral college, the electoral vote that's going to decide whether Kamala Harris becomes president or not. Because Hillary Clinton won the popular vote, but she lost some key states, battleground states. And subsequently, she did not win, even though she had millions of votes more than Donald Trump at the time. But Donald Trump won the states with the biggest amount of electoral votes. And that's the thing we have to understand. It's not just about the popular vote; it's about the electoral college. Some people have moved toward not having the electoral college, just doing it by the popular vote. But each state has a certain amount of electoral votes. And so this is why they're going after these big states: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and some of the other states. New York, of course, we know that's going to go to Kamala Harris. New Jersey, Connecticut, all those states, Massachusetts will go toward Kamala Harris. And then Trump will get the Mississippis and the South Carolinas and some of those other states, Florida possibly, and some of the other states. So it's important that Kamala Harris gets those states, and she has caught up to Trump in the electoral college. She's caught up to him. She's doing pretty well, according to the polling. But I mean, who knows with this polling stuff? Because Hillary Clinton thought she was going to win. Hillary Clinton was so upset that she didn't even come out that night, election night. She stayed in the hotel room and cried or whatever she did, and because it was such a shock that Hillary Clinton did not win. It was shocking. I mean, it was like the bomb dropped on everybody. It was because Hillary Clinton lost the states with the big amount of electoral votes. There's 270 electoral votes that you have to get to win the presidency, So last night, the star-studded affair, Oprah, and the night before was Tuesday night. was Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama dropped it for everybody that night. It wasn't about for Michelle Obama. It wasn't about we go low, they go low, we go high. No, she dropped that. It wasn't about that last night, Tuesday night. She was talking. She didn't pull any. She didn't hold back, and she came after Trump. And I guess it was because of all the nonsense that Trump. It was all about all the nonsense that Trump had, talking about Barack Obama, where he was born, and they were saying stuff about, all the stuff that people were saying about Barack Obama and not Hillary, but Barack Obama and Michelle Obama were crucified, by the Republicans during their 8 years in office. She wasn't a woman, that Michelle Obama was a man, and all this stuff, and the monkey pictures and the racist, vitriol that white folks put on Barack and Michelle Obama. So I guess she just came out swinging Tuesday night, like she's just not going to take this anymore. So she had and I think that her speech. I think that her speech was the best speech of all. I think that Michelle Obama dropped it, and she had a fantastic speech. Because when Barack Obama came on, I didn't even watch the whole Barack Obama. Unfortunately, I didn't even watch the whole Barack Obama speech, because once you heard this woman, it was a wrap, But anyway, everybody, welcome. It's about 13 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock. Is August 22nd already, 2024. And summer is slowly coming to a close. When you go outside now at night, you go out, you got to bring a jacket or whatever. If you're going anywhere, you have to put on a jacket, because the summer, as it all has for the last, for centuries, we've had the 4 seasons. So tonight I'll be watching, to see how she does. And I saw some people on Fox News. I take exception to when I see black folks, and it's not necessarily about race, but I take exception to see black folks on Fox News and some of these other news breaks, some of these other obviously vitriolic TV stations, and they're talking about they're going to vote for Donald Trump. When it comes down to a certain kind of people, when it comes down to people on the ground, the 99%, a lot of us, it doesn't really matter who wins. For the people on the ground, the people that go to work every day, not the middle class, but the underclass, it doesn't really matter who wins, because the same thing happens every year. A bunch of promises are made. Democrats and Republicans, a bunch of promises are made, and many of them are not kept. So, unless you have enough money to sit at the table, you're not going to. Just regular folks that work at the Walmart and McDonald's and places like that, you're not going to. It doesn't matter. It matters, but that you vote, that you exercise your right to vote. But on top of that, it doesn't matter who, because you're not going to get anything anyway. You're not going to get anything anyway. And I see black folks on, and again, it's not necessarily about race, but I see black folks on Fox News and some of these other stations, some of these obviously vitriolic, Republican-leaning MAGA stations, and you see people, black folks, talking about they're going to vote for Trump. And see, when Trump appeared at the Black Broadcasters Convention, NABJ, he was talking. He wasn't necessarily talking to those folks who were there. He was talking to the MAGA folks, It's like, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna go up in this convention, and I'm gonna show these Negroes, you know, what we're about. You know. And for him to sit there on that stage with the 3 black journalists, National Association of Black Journalists, and for him to sit there and say that these women, that Kamala Harris just suddenly became black, it was just, you see, but you can't, this is Trump. This is Trump. I mean, you can't, I mean, he just doesn't cease to amaze me. He does not cease to amaze me. And this is the things that he does. 16 minutes past the hour. Yeah, these are the things that Trump does. You know, so it's you know, I can't understand why anybody would want to vote for Trump, to be honest with you. I don't know why anybody would even think about voting for Donald Trump. You know, you see, because these people have decided that they've decided to throw, you know, caution to the wind. So what, he molested women? So what, he grabbed some by the coochie and some of the stuff he said? So what? So what, he paid Stormy Daniels to keep her mouth shut during the election in 2020? So what, he falsified documents? So what did he? So what that he falsified the amount or the value of his properties? And so what? So what? The people are just saying, you know what? I don't care about that. I'm going to vote for Trump, no matter what he does. And see, this is what we've devolved down into here in America. This is where we are now, where people just don't care. I mean, it's one point in history, he would have never even got off the ground. It would have been probably DeSantis or somebody like that. It wouldn't have been Donald Trump. But Donald Trump, the Republican Party is not the Republican Party anymore. The party of small government, the party of law and order, the party of so many of the things that, you know, when Reagan was the president or when Reagan ran for president. You know, because personally speaking, I liked Ronald Reagan. You know, I liked him, and I think that my phone. I think that my phone is ringing. The party of Lincoln, which was what the Republican Party was known as, and now, you know, fast forward to 2024, it's the party of Trump. I mean, there's no two ways about it. It's the party of Donald Trump. Just ridiculous. Okay, so it's about 20 minutes past the hour, so we'll take a break and we'll come back with more of this program. It's Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on blogtalkradio.com, theronkellyshow.com, and of course, live on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Back in a moment. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program, and it's on blogtalkradio.com and RonKellyShow.com. And this portion of the Ron Kelly Show is brought to you by American Porterfield Transportation since 1980, so 44 years. American Porterfield Transportation has been providing safe and reliable transportation to and from your, I need some water, destination, school trips, bus rides, you name it. American Porterfield can provide it. Trips to Atlantic City and what have you. They're there and they can do it for you. So just give them a call. They're located in the city of Plainfield, New Jersey. Just give them a call, 908-653-6423, 908-753-6423. Once again, 908-753-6423. This portion of the Ron Kelly Show is brought to you by Amaker and Porterfield Transportation, 21 minutes past the hour. Yeah, so I can't see how any African Americans could vote for Donald Trump. I just don't see it. Because, you know, and Michelle Obama, you know, I should have had this stuff put down. I need a producer. LinkedIn, I need a producer badly. And she said, I wonder if somebody told Trump that the job that he's trying to get might be one of those black jobs. You know, just Michelle Obama just took the gloves off because she was always, you know, we go low. I mean, they go low, we go high. That was Michelle Obama's trademark. But Tuesday night, no, no, she dropped the bomb on everybody, on Trump. So and so I see these black folks on minorities, black folks on Fox News and some of these other places talking about they're going to vote for Donald Trump because Democrats have been getting the black vote and haven't done much for black people. Now, I do agree with that to a degree that black people have not cashed in on their support of Democrats. I agree with that. Black folks have not cashed in on their support for Democrats. And I think that she, you know, the lady who was on Fox News, she was right about that. She was right about that. The black folks have not cashed in on their support of the Democrats. They haven't cashed in. And black folks have been loyal to the Democratic Party and they voted for them time and time again. And black folks really haven't gotten much from the Democrats. They haven't gotten much. So I do agree with that. But Trump is not the answer. You know, Trump is not the answer. I say to that woman, you can always find a black person. Now, let me stop because my girlfriend says I talk too much about black folks. So I'll abandon that. But yeah, so tonight, so I'll just abandon that. But tonight is going to be really important for Kamala Harris. This is it. This is the, you know, this is her night. She has to, this is crucial. This is the biggest night of her life where she has to come across to the millions of people who will be watching her speech. And she has to try to at least begin to convince people that she's the person for the job. She's got to start doing that. So that's going to be tonight. I don't know what time she's going to come on, but she's going to be at the convention. She's going to give her acceptance speech. And she has got to, it's a make or break night for Kamala Harris tonight. It's make or break. She's got to come across to the American voter, for the people on the fence, for the independents, for the folks who are not sure who they're going to vote for the never Trumpers, and you know, and some of these other people. She's got to come across for these people. So tonight is the night for Kamala Harris. She has got to get it together tonight. You know. And again, she hasn't had the luxury. Trump's been campaigning for 2 years. You know, and she doesn't have the luxury of starting a campaign in 2022. Biden started the campaign in 2022. So Kamala Harris hasn't had the luxury of getting to know people and, you know, going around to different places. I mean, she still has a little time, but she doesn't have the time that Trump had, or the average, candidate would, because she, like, again, it starts 2 years ago. But at that time, Joe Biden was the nominee. I mean, Joe Biden had intended to run for president. Nobody was running against Joe Biden. You know, none of the Democrats voted against Joe Biden. So we do have kind of a unified party here. And it's good. It's good times, you know. It's good time, Charlie. People are having a ball out there in Chicago, where the Obamas are from, you know. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what she says tonight. I can't wait. I cannot wait for Michelle. I mean, for her to get it going, to get things popping, so to speak. It's 26 minutes, almost half past the hour. So yeah, so in 1964, Fannie Lou Hamer was the Fannie Lou Hamer was she was the leader of the Democrat. She was a leader of the racially integrated. It was white folks and black folks on this in this party, the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, which was fighting to be seated at the 1964 convention in all places, Atlantic City, New Jersey, in place of the all-white delegation. Now, the Mississippi delegation to the Democratic Convention in 1964 was all white folks. And don't get me wrong, I'm not racist and I'm not against white people and all that, but this is a historical fact. She was the leader of the racially integrated white folks and black folks Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, and they were fighting to be seated at the 1964 convention in Atlantic City in place of the all-white delegation from Mississippi. But the President Lyndon Johnson at the time, who needed those Southern Democratic votes, was against them. Now, the Credentials Committee at the time offered the party 2 seats as a compromise. But Hubert Humphrey, who was trying to get the vice presidential nomination at the time, said Johnson would not let Hamer get one of those spots. Hubert Humphrey was quoted as saying, "The president has said he will not let that illiterate woman speak on the floor of the Democratic Convention." Lyndon Johnson even called a news conference to try to divert network coverage away from Hamer's remarks. That plan backfired. TV networks later aired her testimony in full in the coveted primetime hours. And see, this is 1964, ladies people. This is not 1864. This was 1964. This was 60 years ago today. Matter of fact, to the day, 60 years ago to the day that Fannie Lou Hamer was denied to be seated at the Democratic Convention in Atlantic City. And she was subjected to physical violence. She talked about being locked up by law enforcement officers who were mostly white, after she had attended a voter registration workshop, and how they ordered other black prisoners to beat her. So this is not ancient history. This is just 6 decades ago. The black folks were still fighting for the right to be recognized, to be noticed. Ronald McCready says, shout out to my boy Ronald McCready, says she doesn't have to convince anyone. We either give America away to Trump in this big book 2025 written by someone else, or do we move ahead and divorce ourselves from Trump? Ronald McCready goes on to say we had to divorce ourselves from Trump by electing a new president. Yes, Ronald McCready, I agree with you 100% that 2020 Project 2025 is scary. It is scary. Because imagine no Miranda rights. Imagine not having any rights. And imagine not having any rights when to deny the police to go in. Imagine that all being gone. But the police just run up in your car and search it or whatever the case may be without any probable cause. No probable cause. And Trump has already said that he would give police immunity across the board. All police would get immunity. I mean, come on. I mean, and you have black folks saying they're going to vote for Trump. You're going to vote for that? You're going to vote for no rights? We're already scrambling and for our rights right now. So, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I see people popping in and out of the show. I get it. I don't watch the whole show, anybody else's show either. But yeah, Ronald McCready says we have to divorce ourselves from Trump by electing a new president. And see, and so who's the old guy now? Trump. Who's the old guy now? Because Trump could actually be Kamala Harris's father. For the age thing. Yeah. So who would vote for Trump? And when police will have immunity, so they can shoot anybody they want, they can beat up anybody they want. They're going to have blanket immunity from prosecution. They won't even be charged. They won't even be investigated under the new Trump regime. And you heard Trump say a few weeks ago that vote for him and you'll never have to vote again. So what does that mean? That's dog whistle that you won't have to vote again. See, because Trump, likes Putin and Kim Jong-un and the president of Venezuela, who just stole the election from those people, from the opposition party. Stole it, basically stole it. And Trump likes that kind of stuff. He likes Putin and the iron fist and all that type of stuff. They can, because you got no rights in Russia. None. You don't have the right to nothing. And Trump likes that. He likes that kind of stuff. He likes being a dictator. I mean, why else would he, would he tell Putin, go ahead and invade whoever you want to invade? Ronald McCready goes on to say, we are still fighting for rights as a people and to go back in time. Slavery is over. That means is going to take over and be coming to. Yeah, Trump is going to be a dictator. Thank you, Ronald McCready, for your comment. That's what's going on. He's going to be a dictator. Now, I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand why anybody would vote for Trump, especially a black person or a minority. Because we already have to fight and scramble for our rights right now. So it would be, I mean, really, really, it's insane. Because we've already, it's been, 1964. That wasn't that long ago. They would tell black folks they can't come to certain places, they can't be in certain places. You still couldn't, that was the year that the Voting Rights Act was passed, I believe. Voting Rights Act, Civil Rights Act. So black folks were still fighting in most of our lifetimes. Black folks were still fighting for rights. So I don't understand how any minority, not just black folks, I don't understand how any minority could vote for Donald Trump. It just doesn't make any sense. And the black woman who was on Fox News, I didn't get her name, but the woman who was on Fox News says, I'm a Christian. You're a Christian? I mean, okay, you're a Christian and you're okay with Trump grabbing the pussy, as he said, of people? You're all right with that? And you're a Christian? So you're all right with women being abused? You're all right with women being raped and, and all of the stuff that Trump has done? And you're a Christian and you're okay with that? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Because you're a Christian and you're okay with what Trump does. You can always find a black person to kiss the ring of somebody and It's just ridiculous. I just can't. I just don't get it. Ron McCready, thank you for your comments, my brother. Yeah, and so tonight is the night, and I'm going to be watching. Yeah, there's a football game on too, so I guess maybe I can watch the football game, and I can watch the, keep an eye on the, and I keep an eye on the festivities. But it's been a great convention. It's been a great convention. It's been a great convention, and Tim Walz her picking Tim Walz. I mean, a school teacher. I mean, how could you attack this guy? A school teacher, a football coach, a school teacher, a football coach, a Army veteran. In a perfect world, he would be. There would be nothing you could say about him. I think he was a great pick. Now, me personally, I was looking for Josh Shapiro, but maybe there's some stuff about Josh Shapiro that we don't know about. But I think overall, she made an excellent pick with Tim Walz. So tonight is the night. Kamala Harris, we're going to see if you can bring it home, because this is important. This is crucial. This is a make or break moment for Kamala Harris. She's got to tell her story. She's got to put out her agenda, and she has to connect with the people who are not sure if they want to vote for her or not. So it's a big deal. So they're probably working on that speech right now, critiquing it and taking things out, putting things in. They're going to be working on that speech almost right up to her appearance. This is a very important election, ladies and gentlemen. This Project 25 thing is scary. This is extremely important. This Project 2025 thing, I mean, in other words, he just wants to put the whole country under his control. He wants to put the whole government under his control. CIA, FBI, all the alphabets, Justice Department. He wants to be able to control all of that and sick the Justice Department on people that he doesn't like. It's scary. It is effing scary that, that he's going to try to do all of this stuff. So, so it's important. Everybody, and like Michelle Obama said, go do something. And the people in America, the ones who want freedom, the ones who want reproductive rights, the ones who want, the right to an abortion and all these things. And I don't necessarily agree with abortion. I don't necessarily agree with it. I don't necessarily agree with a bunch of things, but I think people have the right to do it. If it's not against the law, they should be able to do it. So Kamala Harris has Trump on abortion. She has him on reproductive freedom. She has him on a few things, but he has her on the most important things, the economy and the border. That speech has got to speak to those two things. It has to, because if it doesn't, she's going to be dead in the water. She was the vice president of the United States. I mean, she can't overstep the president, but we'll talk about that in a minute when we come back. It's Ron Kelly Talk Radio Show. And it's on Facebook, the Ron Kelly Show page on YouTube and LinkedIn, and of course, blogtalkradio.com. Yes, indeed, I am the man. What a news cycle this is. This guy has got to go. Trump has got to go. George Floyd snuffed out by this police officer who's supposed to be serving and protecting people.
It's the Ron Kelly Show.
All right, everybody, it's the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. It's 19 minutes before the hour, 18 minutes make that before the hour of 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for joining me, everybody. And shout out to the LinkedIn folks. The LinkedIn folks are really receiving the Ron Kelly Show. I should have been broadcasting on LinkedIn a long time ago because the LinkedIn folks are really down with the Ron Kelly Show. So thank you, everybody on LinkedIn, for that. And Ron Kelly still needs a job. So, you know, so the R. Kelly Show wants to go national. So, hey, I maybe need a little polish or whatever, but in some producers and stuff like that, because I produce a show alone. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I could use some help. You know, if somebody wants to take on the Ron Kelly Show, please, by all means, rkellytalk@aol.com. That's rkellytalk@aol.com. You can message me on LinkedIn. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Because these days you don't have to be like back in the day. You used to have to be wherever the radio station was, Florida, you know, Tupelo, Mississippi, you know, Grand Rapids, Michigan. You don't have to do that no more. I can do the show right from the comfort of my home, like I'm doing right now. Shout out to Lamont Gates, who I haven't seen in a while. Hopefully he's all right. Yeah, hopefully Lamont Gates is all right. 16 minutes before the hour. So yeah, Ronald McCready, it's game time tonight, and she has got to come across tonight because the alternative, I mean, childless cat ladies. What the hell is a childless cat lady? Why are you beefing with people who don't have kids? Some people choose not to have kids. Some women women can't have kids. You know, some women can't have kids. So why are you and beefing about women without children? I mean, does that mean that? I mean, because Kamala Harris doesn't have any biological children. So I guess that was more of a dig toward Kamala Harris than anything else, because she doesn't have any children. She's got nieces and nephews and what have you, but she doesn't have any kids. So I guess that was kind of a dig against Kamala Harris, that she doesn't have any children. You know. But tonight is her night. You know, you see, they dropped the Jewish thing. They were saying that Kamala Harris was a Jew hater. You see, they dropped that because her husband is Jewish. So that went out the window. So the Trump campaign is scrambling because they were all, you know, that's like going, you know, you were going to play a football game and the starter was a third string quarterback, and then all of a sudden they put in Tom Brady, you know, right midstream when you're preparing for the game, and there's a third string quarterback in there, and all of a sudden we're gonna put Tom Brady in the game. I mean, that's the equivalent of what happened when Joe Biden quit the race and put Kamala Harris in. I mean, you got to give Joe Biden credit. I mean, yeah, he's old and he's crickly, you know, and he stammers and all of this stuff. Hell, I stammer. I'm not nowhere near as old as Joe Biden, but you got to give him credit. That was huge what he did. You know, the president of the United States, of power. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, this big armor-plated limousine, and you got this giant 747 plane that has more protection. That's the safest plane on earth. The White House is the safest house on earth. You know, the beast they call it's a truck on wheels. It's the safest car on earth. You know, I mean, the power, because people don't want to be president because they want to be president. Some people, they want to be They want the power because the presidency doesn't pay anything. They don't even. The president gets less than a they get less than the NFL minimum. The president doesn't make any money. They make their money after they leave the presidency, but the president doesn't make any money. So it's most of the time for most people who want to be president, it's about the power. It's not about the money because there's no money in being president. It's the power that you have, the most powerful person in the world. So we need to support Kamala Harris. I do support Kamala Harris. I'll say this on the air. I do support Kamala Harris for president. I think we need something new. Trump is 78 years old, and he's got old ideas, And I think that we should move on from Trump-Biden and move on to a new day. I believe that Kamala Harris has the experience. She has she's a fighter. She was the district attorney of San Francisco. Then she was the attorney general for the state of California, the largest attorney general's office in the country. Then she became the senator. She ran for senator from California. She won. So she hasn't lost the race yet that she has entered. She won DA in San Francisco. She won the AG in California, and she won her Senate seat. And then her and Biden won the presidency and the vice presidency. So at 12 minutes before the hour. So yeah, so it's going to be a barn burner tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to Kamala Harris, her coming out party, not coming out like that, but her coming out party is tonight, And again, I think it's important that everybody comes out and votes, because I never was the biggest believer in voting, and because, the voting you vote for doesn't trickle down to you. You see, because people who, folks who work at Sam's Club and, and Staples, we see nothing from presidency to presidency. We see nothing. Nothing happens, for us. But if you're rich, you can, if you're rich, you can afford a seat at the table, 100,000, a million, where you can be in the same room as the nominee. You can be in the same room as the president if you've got a lot of money. But I do think that Kamala Harris finally, somebody's going to come along who's going to make a difference. And I do think Kamala Harris will make a difference for all of us, not just the rich. Just look what happened with Trump. The $2 trillion tax break for his wealthy friends. And, and the BS was that these folks would get a tax break and they would take that money and invest in their companies. No, they did not. A lot of them sent their money offshore. A lot of them, the tax savings they received, they sent the money offshore. They didn't invest in their companies. They were like, I'm making it with the people I got, so why do I need to hire any more? And that's what happened. The money got sent offshore. A lot of that money was offshore, where they didn't have to pay taxes on it. Billions of dollars, trillions of dollars sent overseas and offshore. So it was just a bunch of BS. Trump got in, he made a deal with his homies, and they made a deal, and Trump, for their contributions to his campaign, he blessed them with a tax cut. 20%. Unbelievable. And then he claims that he cut. Now, you can't cut taxes for everybody. You can't. It's impossible. Because the country will go bankrupt if you cut taxes for everybody. So he cut taxes for the wealthy and did not cut taxes for the middle class and the underclass. because he had to make that money up somehow. And he wasn't going to give us no big tax cut because, again, it would have been foolish. So he had to make a choice who he's going to give a tax cut to. And as it turned out, it was the wealthy. And this 2025 thing, I mean, it's 900 pages. I'm probably never going to read the whole thing, just the bullet points, but it is scary as hell. I need to let you know. So now somebody sent me the My Pillow guy, which we haven't heard from the My Pillow guy in a while. Mike Lindell. My Pillow guy goes on the cover to yell at a 12-year-old at the DNC. Mike Lindell, the psychopath pillow man, who made a lot of money off that My Pillow, made a lot of money. Then he started making blankets and slippers and pillow, the mattress cover, pillow mattress cover, and all that stuff. He made a lot of money. He was an idiot. Mike Lindell, who was sued, by the Voting Dominion and the other one, sued because he was down with this cheating, this nonsense. They were bringing truckloads of ballots in. They were bringing truckloads of ballots in from different places, mail bags full of ballots to cheat. And he carried that. Garland McCready says he made that. Yeah, he made that out of his My Pillow stuff. He made that ear patch for Trump. Unbelievable. Yeah, Mike Lindell. So he was caught. He was in a disguise. And he was yelling at a 12-year-old kid. See, this is the stuff, these people have lost it. Shout out to my cousin George. What's up, Coach? Yeah, we got it. What's up, cuz? Yeah, we have to vote Harris in. We have to vote Harris in. Because we got to get to hit the Clintons and the Bushes and the Trumps, and the Bidens. It's time for a new start. And I give President Biden credit for leaving the presidency, because that's a job. No, I would never want to leave that job. All right, cuz, good to hear that, cuz. Good to hear it, man. You're still riding your bike. Appreciate your support. So I'm going to give Biden credit for dropping out, because he didn't want to drop out. I mean, that must have been hard, That must have been hard for Biden to drop out. I'm glad to hear that, cuz. Glad to hear it. Glad you're all right. But that was hard for Biden to drop out. That was tough. That took a lot of courage, because he really believed that he could win. But he put the country first. He put the party first. And you don't find that, especially not in the Republican Party. You don't find that. So he, so you got to give him credit for that. You got to give him credit. So I give Joe Biden's, Ronald McCready says he had to drop out to keep the hope up. Yeah, because if Biden didn't drop out, Trump would have won if he didn't drop out. And see, that was the screwball that we threw at Trump when Kamala Harris came in, because now they're still trying to figure out what to do. They still don't know what to do about Kamala Harris. Still don't. They're still scrambling, trying to figure out a way, childless cat lady, because she doesn't have children. I don't know if she has a cat, but just ridiculous. Now they're scrambling. Trump picked the wrong person. He picked J.D. Vance wrong. He must have pulled that name out of a hat. J.D. Vance. Just ridiculous. But anyway, it's a couple minutes before the hour. I want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you, cuz. Thank you, Ronald McCready, and all the folks who I can't see everybody who comes on here. Unfortunately, I can't see the people on YouTube or LinkedIn. But shout out to the people on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, anybody who supports the Ron Kelly Talk Radio Experience. Appreciate you. It's a couple minutes before the hour. So yeah, so tonight is the night. So, you know, I know there's some football on, but you know, we need to hear what Kamala Harris has to say. So I implore everybody to watch Kamala Harris tonight, give her acceptance speech. But this is crucial for her. Yeah. Ron McCready says now we have a Jedi in motion. Yeah, the laser sword is, she's gotta swing that sword tonight. And she's gotta convince those folks who are on the fence, because there's a lot of them. The independents, there's a lot of them. And those are the ones usually that swing the election either way. That's the independents. It's not the Republicans or the Democrats, it's the independents, it's the swing voters. It's the purple state voters. Those are the ones. So Kamala Harris needs to get it in gear. She needs to, you know, hit the ground running tomorrow after the convention is over, and she needs to get going. So she definitely has my support. I don't support Donald Trump. I would never support Donald Trump. If I wanted chaos and confusion, I would vote for Donald Trump. Now, and you're right, we don't know what Kamala Harris is going to do. Not to buffet the Republicans, but we don't know what Kamala Harris is going to do. We don't know. We don't know if she can handle being president. We don't know. But we got to find out. Anyway, everybody, it's just about time for me to get out of here. It's a minute before the hour, so I want to thank you so much for joining me today on the Ron Kelly Talk Radio program. Shout out to the LinkedIn people. Thank you for your continued support. So we'll see you back here next Thursday for another edition of the Ron Kelly Show. Thank you, cuz. Thank you, Ronald McCready, and all the other folks who partake of the Ron Kelly Show. So until then, I'd like to say it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And then we may not have it all together, ladies and gentlemen, but together we can have it all. Watch Kamala tonight, and we'll talk about it next week.